Hello, beautiful Pisces, and welcome to March 2020. This is a really potent Pisces season. I'm sure many of you are aware. Happy birthday to all of you out there. I have a couple really precious Pisces in my life, and you guys teach me a lot. There's a lot going on here with Pisces this season. I know I am riding the waves right along with you. The dreams have been super powerful. And here's what's interesting about the coming month. March is very catalytic. It's very shape-shifting. There's a huge shift in energy occurring at this time because not only are we finishing up Mercury retrograde as it works its way into Aquarius, but Saturn is moving this month. Saturn has been in Capricorn for just over a couple of years. So we've been doing our work and our structures and our checking in a very specific way for over 2 years. So when Saturn shifts, which he does every 2.5 years or so, or thereabouts, it's always a new flavor. It's a new flavor of how we're structuring our lives. And if you are a Pisces rising especially, and your house placements work this way, but even if you're a sun or a moon, Saturn's moving into your 12th house. So is Mars this month. These things are kind of happening actually once we have left Pisces season and we are now in Aries season. So two things are happening there as we shift through your season, where we are tapping into your embodiment, your rebirth. We have a full moon in Virgo that's lighting up your relationships and helping you connect more deeply there about what you want in life when it comes to relationship. We have Mercury going direct, moving back toward you. But then what's interesting is we have the equinox. All this energy starts to move into Aries, into your second house of self-love and value. And then on top of that, Saturn and Mars move into your 12th house of spirituality. So you're kind of sandwiched here, Pisces, between that activated second house value, possessions, self-love house, and the spiritual house. I actually really like that dynamic. I really like that conversation. I think there's a lot of value to be had in having both of those activated, right? The unseen, the energetic work we do, and the physical, the showing up. But the thing that's really interesting is Saturn's just beginning this transit. And we'll only be visiting Aquarius for a few months before it heads backwards again during its annual retrograde into Capricorn. King of Pentacles wanted to come out. And so we're just getting a preview of what the wisdom of Saturn in Aquarius is bringing in. It's kind of like, because Saturn will then go back to Capricorn for the second half of 2020 and will only rejoin Aquarius right around the new year. And so 2021 and 2022 is going to be all about Saturn in Aquarius, all about the revolutionary spirit of that transit. But we're just getting a little taste over the next few months. The thing is that this is a really important time for you to witness yourself fully, Pisces. Justice. That card's been showing up a lot this month. There's a kind of incisive clarity to the transits that are occurring. Not only does Mercury go direct on the 10th and start moving forward, but we shift into Aries season. Saturn shifts into Aquarius. There's a new moon in Aries and a Mars enters Aquarius. These are all very sharp, incisive shifts, I think. We're leaving the world of the water. We're leaving the world of the hidden as the month progresses. We start off deeply in it, and then it changes. 8 of Wands, love it. But the note that came up for me, Pisces, when I was feeling through your energy was to witness yourself fully. This really is a time, especially as we have energy flowing into your 12th house, Uranus and Mars, both in Aquarius, and that sign right before yours highlighting this, that the logic of that is energy work really is where it's done. I know you're already on board with me with this, because you already connect in so deeply with this energy, but energy work is where it's done. Witnessing ourselves, allowing ourselves to feel fully and pay attention, 6 of Swords, to where things pinch, where things hurt, where things don't work, and to just witness them. Also, when you have infusions of energy working in your 12th house, a lot of times this is where we get the world. Wow, I'm really liking your energy. There's something about the Piscean energy that is very much about moving forward on something. It's not about sticking in the past or reminiscing or playing something over and over again in your mind. The moon, love it. It's very much about the daring to venture forward, daring to venture into something different. Wow. 7 of Pentacles. But to fully witness all your emotions, to fully witness where you feel tension, where you feel fear, where you feel resistance, where you feel that you disallow yourself. And 5 of Wands. Just a little bit of conflict there right at the end of our card pull. Okay, so. There's a lot going on this month. And yes, I think the thing with Saturn is it is a revolutionary. In Aquarius, it is very revolutionary. It does not want us to do things the same way we've been doing them for the last couple of years or the last few decades even, depending. You know, Saturn in Aquarius wants us to change the game. We haven't had Saturn in Aquarius since the early 90s. And so this energy, I am a huge fan of it. Our containers are changing, and there's a kind of shakeup going on. And I will just say, like all the rest of the signs are going through big shakeups right now. You are as well. But it's a little less maybe aggressive or intense as some of the other energies. So everybody's kind of getting a challenge here. There's a challenge here to choose your way and to be really deliberate about choosing it. For you, there's something really clear happening here. There's something happening with you knowing that you're moving forward. There's almost like the train's left the station, you know it's left the station, you're moving forward, and it's almost happening, you know, beyond your own self-definition. Because, you know, look at these first 4 cards. All together, they speak of something really big happening. There's like a catalyst going on here with the King of Pentacles and Justice. You know, these are news bringers, information bringers. They're very clear in bringing information to the front of the conversation, right? Where something wasn't clear, where something was foggy, where something was a little undecided. These two are very decisive. They bring in the resources you need, the information you need, the clarity you need. That can come in the form of a person with these energies, but it can also come in the form of either material resources, practical resources, conversations. Something is very clear, and it's almost set in stone in a way. You know, there's a stability there, a stubborn stability going on there that is causing movement forward. Movement into new energy, new chapters. The thing with 8 of Wands and the 6 of Swords is that these are kind of relentless. They don't want you to stay where you are, right? They kind of don't even allow for there to be stagnation or stopping or holding on or sticking with what you already know how to do. These energies right here, it's like you're already moving. You're already on the river of life. Now, there is a bittersweetness that comes with 6 of Swords, right? Because it means you're leaving behind something that at some point did mean something to you, did serve you, did make you feel happy and alive and connected. There was something about that past shore that did serve you. It doesn't always have to be this insidious, terrible thing that you're running away from. Sometimes when we're in that seeking, searching mode, we are leaving behind a shore that is actually quite nice and on paper makes a lot of sense, but isn't serving us anymore. And there's a real clear message here with these 4 that if there is something in your life, and it can be anything, from what you're eating, if it's causing like inflammation or stress to a total change in job or relationship, that has to be left behind. Now, here's the thing. You got the graduation card. That's what I call the world. It's one of the big graduation energies, right? If you want to talk about energy cycles and ending and opening up, the world is really the quintessential endings and new beginnings card. In every ending, there is a huge new beginning encoded in its DNA. The brighter the light, the darker the shadow, right? So like the deeper you've been feeling dark, heavy emotions, the brighter, more vibrant the forward motion is. And that's kind of the logic that's working here with you, especially as energy moves into your 12th house. We do all that work in the unseen and it ripples and it becomes the seen at some point. But we have to trust in that in-between phase where we felt the energetic emotive ripples and we haven't seen the results yet. And that's kind of what the world is. It's almost like, yes, things are moving, things are catalytic. You're closing out a chapter, you're opening up a new one. But there's an incubation phase that's in between these two things, the closeout of one manifestation and the opening up of another. And our faith is really important during this incubation phase. So you're already on the move. You're already away from that old shore. You're no longer who you were. So you couldn't even go back there if you tried. Try as you might, you wouldn't be able to go back there. But you haven't quite anchored into your new identity, into your new traditions, into your new harmonic frequency, right? You haven't quite anchored into it. And so you're like sitting out here trying to figure out, what is this going to look like? What is this going to feel like? That's where the moon and the Seven of Pentacles is really useful. I think we fight this part of the journey sometimes because this is where things aren't set in clear stone. I mean, I know we started the month off with that very clear messaging from King of Pentacles and Justice of here's your information, here's how you're going to move on it. Yes, but sometimes we just need that passing of the guard gate. And then once we get past that guard gate, though, there is some seeking going on here. There is some listening going on here. There is some consideration going on here. And I don't think this is about looking at your past, going over old patterns, going over old rhythms, old situations, because you could interpret these cards that way, right? Like you can go mad under the moon. You can become a lunatic, as you know, that phrase is all based on the moon, making you crazy, you know, howling at the moon. And Seven of Pentacles, you can just keep looking over your shoulders. But here's the thing. This is also a listening energy. This is also energy very much about hear what is being said to you via your body, via your emotions, via like your literal energy levels when you get up in the morning or when you're going through your day. There's really important information here. Pay attention because there's something you're learning this month that you need to take with you. And like I was saying with Saturn being just previewing to us over the next few months what we're going to be doing with Saturn in Aquarius. This is a time where you're getting information that's going to help you actually next year and the year after. So it may not totally make sense right here in this month. However, it's going to help you. And one aspect of that learning has to do with this Five of Wands. I actually like the Five of Wands. Yes, it is a conflict card, but fives always help us to grow. They're always that point of imbalance, discomfort, uncertainty that helps us find our balance again, that helps us find our clarity again. I think about this as kind of running upstream or fighting against the current of ourselves, fighting against our own thing by doing something that's hard or that feels uphill or that feels like it's not for us. And the thing that comes to mind when I see this as our last card of the day is why do you have to do this thing? Why do you have to plug yourself into situations? Anything that's not feeling good. You know, if it feels, even if it's like, it's not like it's this atrocious, awful thing, you know, you can look at it and say, this is a reasonable thing to be doing. It's a reasonable job. This is a reasonable friendship. This is a reasonable living situation. I mean, I can live with it. It's not out to get me, but I'm not feeling good when I'm in this situation. question why it is you feel that you have to keep showing up to it. Question why it is that you feel that there aren't problem-solving solutions and ways to shift that. Because if you feel like you need to keep plugging yourself into this painful situation where you live, you can't go on walks and you love to go on walks, or where you work, you love to be really active, but you're forced to sit at a desk all the time, to really question why it is you feel that you can't receive solutions for those shifts and wisdom for how to move through it. Because you may find that one of the things, Saturn in Aquarius is a catalyst. It wants us to move and change shape. It does not want us to hold to the same structures. It wants us to build completely new ones. It wants us to build new frameworks to work with us moving forward into the next era. So anything that maybe you're just putting up with is going to be coming under scrutiny. And I will be doing a Saturn in Aquarius video over on my Patreon. I've been doing a lot with Mercury retrograde in Pisces, and I'm going to have a lot of resources for March and how to kind of work with the equinox shift, the Saturn shift, the Mars shift, and of course, full moon and new moon activation. So go join me over there if you're looking for some more resources on how to kind of work with Saturn here, because Saturn is an important planet. It tends to have big impact on where we're getting our challenges. I have some really beautiful affirmations for you all for the month of March, and here we go. I trust my quiet inner voice to lead me. I witness myself without judgment or censor. I allow my tastes and definitions of myself to change shape. Opportunities and stability come from unexpected places. I really like that idea. I think, sometimes we think of stability as something that we've pre-written. In order to feel stable in life, we should already know what it is that we are contending with. But honestly, some of the best stability in our lives and the best input of what we really need come from unexpected places that maybe don't seem stable because of their unexpectedness, and yet they are what we really need. And like I was saying, with all that energy in your 12th house, Pisces, that means that the answers you get do come from unexpected places, surprising places, kind of that spiritual guidance system place. It doesn't come from the more grounded practical aspects, which I think serves you very well. You are the 12th planet, or 12th sign, right? You are tied to the 12th house in a deep way. This is part of the logic of your being. So having Saturn in your 12th house is actually quite helpful for you, because it amplifies a state that you already have innately within you. It amplifies a state of being that really reflects who you are. So I think one of the things that Pisces tends to contend with in life in general throughout your lives is that you have a very innate psychic, emotive wisdom just within you. That's just always been within you, but you're kind of trained out of it and trained to distrust yourself and to put that to the side, to squish it down, to second guess it, to put it under scrutiny and take it to the Spanish Inquisition and question it until it can't give you what it wants to give you. And I think this Saturn transit and the taste we're going to get of it in the next couple of months is going to help you remember that it's okay to trust into this aspect of yourself a little bit more. I will be having a few reading sessions available over the next few months, and I'll keep my calendar rolling open. I'm working on the scheduling right now, so you'll want to keep an eye out. I will try my best to announce that on my Instagram. So I will leave my booking page below, my Instagram, which is @SarahVerba. And of course, join me over on Patreon if you want all those other really useful tools and guides for how we're shifting energy, because March is huge. It's very catalytic. It's a very different flavor of energy going on here. And with you, Pisces, it's your birthday season. It's also a rebirth time. It's a really intensive time. This is a big shifts happening here. And of course, I'm wearing PinkLune's gorgeous jewelry as always, my girl. You can find all of her beautiful creations on her Etsy shop. I'll leave her link below as well. I'm sending you so much love. I will see you for the April readings ahead soon and more moon magics, and I hope you have a beautiful March.